Hey there. Welcome back to month 4. I'm really excited. We're getting very close to the middle of at least the blocks, and then we get to start on the background. And let's see, October. Yes, so September would be the ninth month. All right, so month 4 is pretty easy, and we sew strips and triangles, so not too bad. And I want to bring a special thanks to our main sponsor, Sew Tights. I'm loving their new cutting system, and I do want to give them kudos. They've been so sweet, and somebody is going to get one of these pretty soon. I think we're going to do it in the next couple of months. Somebody gets a complete sewing system, so I'm really excited about that. And Aliso, they have generously donated several irons and 4 irons, and I think one person's already gotten one. So we've got some more coming out. And a couple others. Robert Kaufman is a great sponsor, and I'm going to forget somebody. I know I am. LDH has donated some items as well. So a special thanks to them. Welcome to month 4. Let's start cutting. It's a fun one this month. Okay, let's get started cutting. You're never going to believe what happened, but my microphone went out, so I'm having to do it again. That's why I already have the swatches here. So technical difficulties all the time, it seems. But I'm excited to make another one because this one was really fun. Okay, so I'm going to do the yellow colorway, the yellow-green colorway, and I kept the same way that I had it in the package. So the zucchini through the chartreuse exactly in my package, but you do you. You put in another color in your stash if you think 2 are too close. You rearrange them however you like for this block because this is your quilt. But I'm keeping it in the same colorway. So I've got that already because, like I said, I've done this before and I lost the sound. So I'm just going to put this to the side. And I've actually already cut my colors, but we'll cut that again just so you can see. I know y'all like to see me cut everything. We'll be using the Hex and More and the Super Sidekick, both rulers in this cutting time. But we're going to cut some strips and then we have to sew them together. I'm not necessarily going to film me sewing these strips together. You know how to sew. If you're doing this kind of quilt, you know how to sew straight lines together. And I'll just come back here after I sew them and show you how to cut them. And that'll be with the Super Sidekick. So let's get started cutting our strips. Get my Sew Tights magnetic ruler out, which I gotta tell you, I'm really loving this. I know they're a sponsor, but I really actually love this mat. It's gotten on my cutting board and it's pretty much all I'm using right now. Unless I have really big projects, then I'll get my bigger mat out. So for the A, we're going to need to cut strips. Now, for this particular cut, because I know there's been problems with it being long enough and things like that, we're not as concerned about how long this one is, though this one is pretty 10 by 10, just a little bit off on the one. But I'm going to get into the habit of turning the 10-inch to the vertical way. Though there will be one coming up pretty soon that will need it horizontal, but for this one, the vertical's fine. So then I'm just going to start cutting my strips. I will need, turn it around this way, I will need 3 strips from each of these. From 4 of the colors, we'll need 3 strips. 1, 2, and 3, like this. And then if you wanted to get your little triangle, you know, I like to use the Hex and More for this. And yeah, it's a little bit short up here, but that's going to be within your seam allowance. So you can go ahead and cut your triangle me turn this around. Cut your triangle for the pillowcase. See, just like that. So that's what you can do for all of those. All right. So that's the first one. I am going to stack and cut the rest of the ones that need strips. So this color needs a strip. This one is going to be triangles. This color needs a strip, and this color needs a strip. And I've already got my swatches in my swatch book, so I can keep track of it. I'm not too worried about that. All right. Are y'all excited that we're almost halfway? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that. I know a lot of people have already finished, but don't worry about if you haven't. This is a very slow sew along. I know everybody has lots of projects that they're doing, so not a big deal. We are just going to, and I'll probably clean that line up a little bit, but I want to leave some for the triangle, so I'm going to get it as close as possible. All right, I think we're all set up. There we go. Love it. All right, now I'm just going to run these strips all at once. I'm going to move this along a little bit faster. See, I closed it. I know someone's been telling me to close it. So there's one. And then there is two. And again, if you want to cut one at a time, please, this is just my preference to go ahead and get these done. And there is my third one. And you could, even with the Hex and More, go ahead and cut all of those triangles at the same time. One, and line that up good, and then you've got your other one, and your pillow triangles are ready. And then these are scraps. I've got my little scrap bin back here. All right, before we go on to the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and sew these strips. That way we can go over all the cuts together. So I will see you back here in just a few minutes. Okay, we've got the strips sewn, and you want to press your seams open like that, very gently. So we're now ready to cut these. And the nice thing about this is you're only going to cut one diamond per each one. So we'll cut those diamonds first, and then we'll start the triangles. So you're going to use your Super Sidekick. And you can see how to cut your diamonds on page 6 of your pattern book. So where you're going to start first is you're going to line up the top and the bottom here. See, I shut it. And you're going to cut this first side off. Then you are going to turn your fabric around, and now you're going to line it up with a top line and down the side here. And see, I closed it. And then you're going to cut your diamond shape. You need to do one of these for every one of those fabrics. So we can go through that again. Oh, let me make sure that I cut it right, the right side up. I guess it doesn't matter. Truly. I was supposed to have it up like this, but that is exactly how I'm doing it. Okay, I did it right according to the pattern. This is the A is supposed to be up, so I've got it right. It's funny how picky that stuff gets, but I guess if you don't get that right, it's the mix up of colors makes it to where those kind of tiny mistakes like that are really not a big deal. So these are nice and easy shapes to cut, not complicated at all. They're nice and big once you cut them. Lots of scraps left over. And that's the way they're supposed to go. The last one for this one, you're going to cut 3 per color. Oops, I didn't close it that time. Sorry. I'm picking it up again so quickly. Believe it or not, I have never cut myself with the rotary blade. I'm one of those like really picky. Now this one's not lining up for me so good, so I'm going to recut that. Yeah, it's a little bit off right there, so I'm going to recut that. Just take a little sliver off and get it right. As you see, I was struggling to line that up. Oh, that looks much better. Yeah, that looks much better. All right, I'm ready to cut. All right, that's the third one of that one. I don't know what I'm going to do with these scraps. There's so many of them that I feel like I need to do something. All right. So D is up on this one. So make sure whatever color you chose, your D is the top one. All right. And we're going to cut. It's what I love about these blocks. They really don't take that long to cut, and you're sewing pretty quickly. I mean, we've already sewn a little bit to cut. There is that one. Just a couple more, and then we will move on to the triangles, and then it's lay out the block and start sewing. You've got big pieces. Super fun. All right. And turn it. Line it up. This one did kind of beautifully. And cut. Scraps. Second piece. Last one. I like it when we have a lot extra. It just makes it fun. We don't have to worry about it quite so much. And there we go. All right, so all of our diamonds are cut. Now we need to cut our triangles, and you can use the Super Sidekick if you like, but I'm going to be lazy and use the Hexagon. You can't always be lazy like that, but I'm going to be this time. All right, first thing I'm going to do is cut one of the strips. Let's see. We need to cut a little bit larger of a strip, like this. And it says to cut 2 of these strips. Don't worry, you'll still be able to get your triangle out. I'll show you. There is just a tiny little sliver left over there. All right, so that's this color. I'm going to go ahead and cut the strips out of here because I like to get all my strips cut first. I should have cut these with the other ones, but that's okay. All right, cut your 2 strips. All right, now I'll show you how I use the Hexamore. And you can only do it with smaller triangles, but it really makes it to me easier. All right, so I'm just lining it up with the line of the triangle we need. I'm trimming, turning, and trimming. That one's ready. You need to get 2 from one of the strips, so you don't have to cut it again, twice again. You just line it up and cut your second one, and there's 2 there. And from this last one, you only need to cut 1. Of that color. So I'm going to turn this around, turn the Hexamore. And with this leftover, this is where you can cut for the pillow. Yeah, I'm going to leave that open because I'm right here. Line it up. It's the same degree. Line it up like that. Trim off the top and cut down the side, and you've got your triangle for that color. Lots left over. So same thing for the green. And yes, we are going to trim our tips here. Right, line it up. This is the one I'm going to go all the way to the edge because I need 2 triangles out of this one. 1 and there we go. There's the first one. And just line it up, and there's the second one. All right, scraps to the side, and we just need 1 from this one. Line it up. There's your third triangle, and then we can do our pillow now too. And now we have all the triangles we need for our pillow. Now, obviously, I didn't cut all of them because I have already cut this because I've already done this video before, but that's okay. That's all right. We are doing this. All right, now it's time to lay it out. And remember that I've been telling you that I wanted a design board so I could just carry it over. Well, I bought one. I bought one. I did a show. I was vending at a show. I was a vendor at a show at a local quilt guild about 3 weeks ago, and they had these for sale. And I was to myself, I thought, you know what? I definitely just need to buy it because I don't have time to make it. So I did. So we're going to lay the block out on here. I'm super excited. I hope it's big enough. It might stick over a little bit, but that's okay. So now we are going to do the first half. Oh, I didn't snip the triangles. I didn't have everything ready. Oh, I like my little triangle here to do those points. Just makes it easier to sew, easier to line up. Points, yes, I know I didn't close it. I think it's worth the effort to do this. And I need to go back and do all the little triangles for the pillow. I won't film me doing that because that'll be one of those days that I'm like, okay, let's just do it. All right, a couple more. I know the cutting video gets long when I do all this little stuff, but hopefully it serves as a reminder to you to take the time to do this. It makes the sewing so much more pleasant to just trim those notches. And you'll see when I'm laying it out, it makes a lot more sense. Right. Second one. If you were cutting this whole quilt at once, this would get overwhelming. But since we do it just like once a month, you spend a couple hours, make your block, and then you can move on with life. That's nice. All right, so we've got the notches done. Let's bring this back over here. We're starting with the first block, so it's the more of the yellow one. And we are going to, I think, lay it out. It's going to go kind of like this. And then the A actually connects to that. Yeah, it's going to be more like that. And then the A actually goes like this, connects here. The A connects here. This goes like this. And A connects to here. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how you lay it out. You sew this to this, this to this, and then this to this, this to this, and then straight line across. All right, so this is the first block. I'm going to kind of move it over here like this. I'm digging my board. It's a little wonky, but that's okay. I'm thinking about pressing it a little bit. But I can carry this over here and sew this to this and then know exactly how it's supposed to go. Super excited about that. I have another board, but it is so small. It's almost like I need two of these. All right, I think we're going to close it here at the cutting table because we are ready to sew. Let's start sewing.